everyone, welcome to another episode of the Non-Native Leader, a video podcast series where we talk about having an international career even though you're not born in an English-speaking country. In the previous episode, we've been exploring some interesting stories. We've been talking to some people who have still having a great career abroad or in their native country, but they're working in an international environment, they're working for a multinational company, and they have changed job many times. And in some cases, they also changed country. So today, we are going to explore even more some insightful stories, and we're going to talk about what it takes to have an international career, what you need, what you want to do, what kind of risks you need to take, what kind of choices you need to make. So I promise this is going to be inspiring, and I'm particularly happy today to have with me Luigi Ferri, who's an expert in the IT field, and he's got different certifications. He's worked for many different companies, and he's been traveling around Europe. So I think is like the perfect fit for our stories here for our video podcast series. So welcome again, and I'd like to introduce Luigi. Actually, Luigi, I'd like you to introduce yourself if you don't mind.
Yes. Good morning or good evening to everyone. My name is Luigi. I'm based in Germany. I'm living in Germany since 2017, more or less. And I work in the ITSM and IT security world, where I covered during my life different types of roles in different countries, thanks to the chance that I had years ago of working in consulting. And thanks to this aspect, I went from, let's say, national-based career, where I was a consultant inside Italy, to expand my experiences working for an Italian giant consulting company, working in different European countries. And as Daniele, I also experienced a few years in Ireland.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful experience. You lived in the capital. I lived in just a few months. I lived in Cork. It was a fantastic experience. And I'm open to answer to your listeners also after the podcast. We can give a feedback or some tips. I'm a free of charge coach in a platform. So I'm also always open to share my mistakes and to share the good points. Probably it's more interesting to share the mistakes than the good points, because you benefit from this. And in terms of countries, yes, I had the chance, thanks to consulting, of experiencing different cultures. I worked I split working from living. So I lived in Ireland and in UK and Germany. This living means that I was a resident. I was having the key of my house. I was driving on the other side and interacting with the system, a social culture in a different way. But I worked also in other countries like Hungary, Romania, Czech Republic, Switzerland. I had long, short missions in Romania, Albania, and I worked in sales for an international company. They were dropping me in every possible software event in Europe and Middle East.
They send you around, obviously. They do.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember. Please.
It's already amazing, Luigi. Sorry, because you have already touched a lot of great points. Traveling and making mistakes and learning from our mistakes. So this is all amazing. So just just for the people who are listening, I'd like to ask you, what has been the main challenge for you? Like you mentioned you've been traveling around and you've been exploring different roles within the IT and software world. So yeah, really, what has been the main challenge for you in your career abroad?
Yes, thank you for the question. Everything I do is inspired by US world. So every time I'm learning something, I have like a point of reference for my knowledge, United States, and after United Kingdom. Because normally when something works in the US, it's arriving in United Kingdom or Ireland, and after it's arriving in other countries because probably cultural barriers, language barriers. So it is easy to see improvement or innovation coming from United States. And I have also family members there, so I had the chance of dealing with this different culture. And I thought, I want to learn something that is meaningful, and let's watch on the other side of ITIL, when ITIL was more or less not well known in Italy, 2007. And after I acquired the minimum knowledge on tools and processes, in 2009, I did a big step. I decided to quit my job where everything was perfect, company car, I was a consultant. And I thought, I cannot reach anything here because the culture is not present. So I started to work as a freelance consultant, and I was open to short, medium, long assignment all over Europe, working with different partners, with different organizations. I was not reinventing the wheel or launching the rocket on the moon, but this was giving me the chance of going a step back from several aspects, but I would say was giving me the chance of being where I am today.
Yeah. So like that was really a big change for you, I guess, because yeah, as you say, going from what many would define as the perfect job, so company car and like stable, fixed role in a company to consulting. So yeah, that was a big change, I
Yes, yes,
think.
I was. Yes,
And
yes. I think I was in the middle of my 30s, and I had a stable job in a very respected company, living a good life in Milan.
yeah,
But I understood that the next step was not possible, and so I decided to bet. And okay, I thought I need to have more time for studying. I need to have more time for learning. I need to have more time to practice knowledge in my
sure.
organization. It is possible, and so I decided to quit my job. And obviously I planned this, and I had a number of potential customers to develop,
Nice.
and I also watched the US, and I launched disaster recovery as a service in cloud in 2009, and it worked well for 4 years after everyone was selling this, and me and my partners decided to I sold the percentage of the company, and
Sure.
they rebranded. They went, but it was a very interesting journey.
Yeah. And so you mentioned your career, let's say, started in Milan, in Italy, and then where did you go after that? Where?
That's a nice question. So I was born in the center of Italy, and all my family members, brothers and sisters and cousins, are living minimum outside the region, because it's a small region. It's a place where you go for holidays. If you are not Italian, it's the typical place where people from Rome or from center of Italy are going for holidays.
Sure.
And I moved to Milan when there was the dot-com bubble. where everything was where the internet arrived in Italy.
So
I
traveling
moved to
is
Milan.
in your blood, is in your family, traveling, moving around, you might
Yes,
say.
yes, yes. Yes, yes. So I have sisters living abroad. So when we want
Wow.
to stay all together, normally we plan the city or the country, and we all fly there, or they are, or we all fly to Spain or to Italy or to Germany.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I love this. Like it's in your DNA, really, traveling around, moving around. I mean, you, as you say, you already started when you went to Milan. It was not your city, and that was your first step. Like, okay, it was not abroad, but
Yeah.
you were already exploring new territories, I think. And
Yes.
and then yeah, so we have Milan. So like that was already big step in your career, in your life. But obviously that was not enough, and so you decided to explore even, further. So
Yes. I
tell
when I
us.
was yes, when I was a consultant and my company starts to have international customers, and I spoke with my line manager, and I told, I see that we are answering to RFP around Europe, and these RFP are in my domain. So if you need someone that is going to stay in different countries for weeks or for months, for me, it's not a problem. And thanks to that, I started traveling and working in United Kingdom, and creating shared service centers in East Europe for Western
Wow.
companies, or in South of Europe for Swiss companies. And this was the first step. That is different when you move abroad on your own, because you are very protected when you work in a co in a company that is going to deliver a project abroad. Everything is settled, so you don't need to worry about nothing. But when I moved to Ireland, it was different. I was hired, but it was my duty to move to Ireland, to settle all the paperwork, to understand how the system works. I will never forget that to have my PPS number required 4 hours of queue in Dublin, and I was outside the tax office 6 in the morning, and I got
Lovely.
my appointment at 9:30.
Lovely.
Yes, yes, yes,
Bureaucracy has no boundaries, it travels with you, let's say. And so, yeah, this is
yes,
interesting.
yes, yes, yes.
This is interesting, Luigi, because obviously, going abroad, as you said, you're on your own. And so there's a lot of things you need to learn, new experiences. And as you mentioned, we can also make mistakes even when we don't want to. So what kind of emotions like were were there for you? So obviously I can imagine the thrill, the, the excitement of being abroad, but also maybe a bit of fear of the new world, new things you have to do. So like what was for you the
Yes, yes.
dominant emotion in the situation?
The dominant emotion was extremely positive till COVID,
Mm,
because when COVID arrived, I was living in Germany. And COVID arrived all over Europe, all over the world,
yeah,
and and countries start to close borders. And me and my wife were in two different countries, because my wife was having UK customers, and we found each other in two different countries for more or less 6 months. It was not possible for me to visit my family, and I had some family member also dying due to COVID,
yeah,
and
that is terrible.
this
Yeah.
was a very backslash for this aspect, because you really understand the fragility of yourself in the world around you, and this was a negative point from my point of view, and because I believe that sometimes you cannot overcome things easily. So I decided to, since COVID, to create like a web community based on different topics, and
Wow.
to collect all the experiences of other people, because I was not the only one in terms of family or friends that found him or herself stuck in a condition where you cannot leave your apartment because there is a pandemic. So it's
Yeah.
not just 1 hour of snow. It was
No,
very
you're just
complex. So I
locked. You're
decided,
just locked inside. Yeah, there's not much you can do, obviously.
no. So I was thinking what I can do, and I was speaking with friends, and we were all locked in different countries or in a city, and I started to create live meetups, and to create for everyone was like we all help each other to create a journey to create a different reality, because nobody experienced this
Yeah.
in modern time, to be
Wow.
locked at the European global level.
I mean, there is this word which is often abused, resilience. But in this case, I think it applies perfectly, Luigi, because the COVID, the pandemic, locked us inside. So for like people like you who have been traveling all your life, all their life, um, so that was the end really of this international exchange. You also had obviously family whom you couldn't meet because of the closed borders. And so I love the
Yeah, for
idea.
2 years.
Yeah, and I love your idea, Luigi. So the physical community is somehow um, disappearing. So why not creating, let's say, a virtual but very real community? So that's what you started doing, isn't it? So that's
Yes,
that's
yes,
that
yes,
was your
yes.
idea, and I really
This
love
was
this.
the
So
idea.
yeah,
This
tell
was
us.
the idea. And after it was like the MVP of the idea, the minimum viable product of the idea. And after step by step, it developed in a more concrete project 1 year ago, where I'm building a community around ITSM and IT security. Everything is free of charge. There is no, we talk, basically, we share experiences, and we try to share knowledge with the people that are not expert, and it's going say around the world, because people that are belonging to the community are sitting more or less everywhere in the world, from the United States to Australia.
Great. And like, so I really love this area, Luigi. So building a community around the values and around the ideas of IT and cybersecurity, software development. This is kind of amazing because, as I said, okay, sure, the virus is breaking our communities, that the virus is impacting our lives, but okay, let's stop for a minute, breathe in, and find new ways to build communities, to keep in touch with people, and even expanding our reach, which is great, I think. And so this idea of building an online, a virtual community, how has it impacted in your life, in your career? So how has your life changed since then?
Yes, this is interesting, because we start with a very light setup, and step by step we develop the community on LinkedIn, and after it developed to a podcast. And I measure success not on the number of followers, but on the number of interactions that I receive on a weekly or on a daily basis, that after also are leading to coaching, where I address people to different coaches, always free of charge, or I take the ownership of some session, And I try to support people around 1 year or 2 years, having regular calls and try to understand, because also for us as a coach, it's also important to be a mentee. So it's I'm also a mentee of someone else. It's very interesting in terms of interaction, and you understand also what is not clear to people and what is not clear in general about the topic, and step by step you shape the message. And because everyone that belongs to the community is doing this free of charge, I see people much more relaxed when they are joining, because nobody's trying to upsell or to do a sales action. Obviously, I had situations where a mentee was hired by the coach, or where a coach was asking me, I need someone to perform a job, but this is a consequence, it's not the spirit.
Yeah, and you're creating opportunities anyways. So I think this is
Yes,
this is the spirit really of such an initiative. And so what's the okay? So you've had an international career. You've mentioned, moving around. So what is the importance for you, the importance of building a community if you want to have such an experience as yours?
Yes, I think one of my mistakes when I started living abroad, I built the community late. So if I'm talking with a young professional and he's planning to study or to work abroad, I suggest to find a community, or to join a community, or to build a community around one or two specific interests, and use this as a platform for a life project. So, for example, there are online communities focus on cultural interests, or focus on, I don't know, salsa and bachata. You can find a community and try to understand if this can be also a ramp for your relocation. In my case, when I relocated to Ireland, I was not having a community, so I was a square zero day one. So you arrive in a place, you have to build all your social network from the scratch. It takes
Absolutely.
time. I
It
love
does.
rugby. I was lucky. But if you have, I don't know, a specific interest, and you find yourself in a place where the community is very limited, that this is a bit more complicated, because you have to consider that we are not only working, so we have a life, and when your day is finishing, you as a human, you should interact with other humans. No, now say
It does help.
we live. Okay, the city is. Yes, yes, yes. And so this is what I suggest. If you want to work abroad, plan it and try to understand upfront how to join and start to belong to a new community.
Wow. So yes, really the importance, yeah, of we call it social network, but you've lived in Ireland, so you might have seen this ad from like pubs, the original social network. It was this ad for pubs in Ireland, and I used to love the idea, like to see the pub as a small community and the original social network, so where you can interact. But when that is not possible, build like virtual communities around a massive topic like IT, cybersecurity, or find an interest and again build your community around that interest. So this is all great advice, Luigi, I think.
Yeah,
And
like in Ireland, I was loving in Cork Fitzsimon pub. It's a sport pub in Cork where you can go there, you can watch the Irish or the UK rugby championship or other sports. But when I was traveling in other countries, for example, I was looking for salsa and bachata club, for example,
so
because
you can go
sometimes I was.
dancing and connect with people at the same
Yes,
time.
or language exchange. For example, you are native in a language and you are going to stay in a country for work 3-4 months, so you can use this to connect yourself with the local community.
Nice. Fantastic, Luigi. So we're near the end of our chat. Would you have like any final recommendation for people who want to have an international career like you?
My suggestion is, if you have a chance, study abroad. I saw in my family people studying abroad, and this was accelerating the chance of having an international career and finding a job in the country where you are studying. If you studied in a country, you want to move to another country, my suggestion is be specific. Don't apply for a position, I do everything. Be very specific, find your niche, and try to talk with who is doing this job in the country where you want to move. And to gain visibility, okay, you apply. But if you think you are an expert of a niche, use also tools like YouTube to talk about what is your expertise. And step by step, you will be more visible, and you can use different social channels to get to land your first job abroad.
Nice. This is gold, Luigi. So study, learn, and be visible. I love this. Look, this has been great, Luigi. I have really enjoyed our chat. And everybody, follow Luigi on LinkedIn for his insight on IT methodology, cybersecurity, and also explore his virtual community. I think is really precious and valuable. You won't regret it, I promise. And Luigi, it's been really a pleasure having you. I I am looking forward to interacting with you here on LinkedIn and on all the different platforms. And thank you very much. And I'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Daniele, for taking the time today, and I wish you a good day.